Hello, this is Bill Colodzi, and welcome to an Amonkhet Draft League. This is a competitive league online, and we've got a legendary Minotaur Warrior as an option. That and Deem Worthy, which is one color, so it's going to be a lot more versatile, goes into more decks. Merciless Javelineer too. I have a hunch that one of these two is going to wheel, but if they both get soaked up, then that kind of tells us something as well. Okay, so there's like three picks: Fanbearer, Nahab the Worthy, and Deem Worthy. And I'm going to take Deem Worthy because it fits into really any deck. There's actually no green. Oh, there is one green card here. Almost no green cards, almost no blue cards. And Deem Worthy could go into a green-red or green-blue card. It might just be better than this nonsense. Okay. So, what next? Slitherblade, Labyrinth Warrior, Hieroglyphic Illumination, cancel, Shimmer Scale Drake. So we're probably taking a blue card here. And the Shimmer Scale Drake has the upside that it can kill your opponent. In general, it might not be as good as the Labyrinth Guardian. We're not really a cycling deck either. You know, I'm just going to go with the Labyrinth Guardian here. It gets a solid recurable 2-drop into play, and that's not bad. It doesn't hold cartouches very well. We see a set of them here, the Mardu cartouche set. What else? What other options do we have? We have Sheffet Monitor, kind of a cool ramp card. It fixes mana. We might be drafting a strange deck like that. Cartouche of Solidarity is good in like a red-white deck, or blue-white, or really any kind of deck where you're attacking. Cartouche of Zeal, same kind of deal. We can take this Sheffet Monitor, though. We're not exactly sure what direction this draft is going quite yet. Might be in a ramp direction. Nefcrop Entangler is a nice aggressive card we could be interested in here. Or we could take Spring to Mind and do something a bit different. Given that we have Sheffet Monitor and Labyrinth Guardian, it kind of makes sense to do Spring to Mind. It's easy enough to splash Deem Worthy in a deck like that. And it's been a while since I've kind of done a ramp strategy. So here we go, Evolving Wilds to fix our colors. We're going to be in good shape. Binding Mummy, there's no real indication that the whole black-white archetype is open, and it never is. So it's a bit late to just jump ship into that and then start fighting for it. Let's see. Forsake the Worldly, Seeker of Insight. We'll take Evolving Wilds. And then we get a lot of these unplayable looking cards. Well, the black cards here are good, but after passing Neheb and all that kind of nonsense, we might not be as interested in it, and can take Oshra Cultivator. Just hide behind these 3 toughness creatures until we can play whatever bomb rare we open, if we open one. And hopefully we do. Okay, Naga Vitalist. It's a good sign that this is still in the pack for what we're trying to do. And another Evolving Wilds. That is some solid color fixing. And the thinning is not irrelevant in Limited, where your card's only 40 decks to begin with. Taking 1 land out of your deck does change the consistency of drawing lands, if just a little bit. Alright, so this is the pack we're wheeling. Neither of the black-red cards came back to us, so maybe we're creating 2 black-red drafters, and we want to stay pretty far away from those colors. What we can do then is take Painted Bluffs, which has this upside with Naga Vitalist. There's 2 little mini combos that everyone knows about with Naga Vitalist. The main one is Painted Bluffs, right? You play this, and it's expensive to get the filtering. You don't usually want to do it, but Naga Vitalist can tap for any color of mana that this can tap for free. So it's, you know, fixes all your colors, a little Naga Birds of Paradise. The other thing you can do, which is done less often, is just fetch for a land, it comes into play tapped, but then your Naga Vitalist can tap for that color land immediately. So that requires you playing that basic land type in the deck, but that's not too big of a cost. Anyway, Sparring Mummy, Slitherblade. This pack is not good. Not very good at all. It does have a blue card though, we could take that. Don't mind taking that, although Slitherblade and Ramp do not go well together. Jeru's Resolve. Kind of the best card here. Maybe Desert Ceradon has its upside, but we really do want to be cooperating with the people after us and passing them cards they might want that might convince them to be in those colors. So we're not pretty close to being white. Ooh, a foil desert. No. So we'll just take these blue cards that we're not going to play. And this is a real thing you can do in pack 1 in a league draft. Not really cut the power of the cards because you're so unlikely to play against them. And if you're really worried about it, just wait, come back 5 hours later and play decks that you didn't draft against. But yeah, then you should get rewarded because they'll pass you all the Simic cards when they're in Rakdos. Let's see, who's in this draft? Oh, another Painted Bluffs, sure. I wouldn't want to play 1, and 2 is just worse than 1, so... Who were we passing to? We were passing to Anti-Rush, Vavail, Quarked, and on the other side of the table we have Spider91, Kitaru, so risky saying these names, Lal, and Bobby Sated, who we're passing to this direction. Alright, so no giant payoff in blue-green like a Bounty of the Luxa or Sandworm Convergence, but we do get Decimator Beetle, and that's a bomb in its own right without many other cards to really consider here. Sweltering Suns is kind of cool, kind of works well in this type of deck too, but Decimator Beetle, get in there. It should be easy to splash, and once it starts attacking, that can really hurt an opponent. Alright, Fanbearer, the person to our left took an uncommon, and the rare is no good, so not really surprising. Aven Initiate is kind of a card we're interested in. We're pretty far from being white. Fanbearer is a bit better of a card. It's just the best card in the pack, but let's go with the blue card. It gives us a way to win a game, which we are interested in. Alright, so we got rewarded a little bit for cutting green and passing all the Rakdos. You can see red is dried up pretty soon. I believe every pack has a... Well, in normal sets like this, every pack has a card of every color. I could be wrong about that, but it isn't just completely random how they put cards in here. There are actually print runs. In any case, we can take Honored Hydra, get that 6/6 trample, and bring it back. Alright, so they're taking their time here. Anti-Rush. No rush, rush. Thinking about how this deck is going to look. Yeah, I mean, every color that we're going to splash, maybe red, maybe black, we'll just put one land of that color in there, and that should be enough. A foil Mind Sensor, not really worth a splash. Irrigated Farmland is cool, but we don't have any white that we're interested in playing yet. So we can take Final Reward. I don't mind just going into green black to begin with, and this is just a solid removal spell, always worth splashing. 2 farmlands in a row. Okay, and a Weaver of Currents. So this is a weird pick because we don't have a big high-end card like Greater Sandworm yet, but Weaver of Currents is such a big boost in your mana that I think I'll take that first and hope to get something else good. Whoa, look at that art for Bounty here. That'll resolve into Bounty of the Luxa, which we can take again over a Greater Sandworm. Ideally, one of these things wheels because we'll have plenty of ramp to it, but I don't want to miss out on the card draw of Bounty. That is an important thing. An important thing for the deck that we need is some card advantage. Sometimes you can fill these in on the curve where you expect to use them, like Sheffet Monitor down here to cycle it. A 6/5 creature is good, but 6 for a 6/5 is kind of below the rate you want. So the real power here is in the cycling. And of course, sometimes you have 6 mana and you say, okay, I'd rather have a 6/5 creature than a random card. So that's pretty much how he works. Alright, what do we take? Dissenter's Deliverance, Slitherblade number 2, or Haze of Pollen. Let's get the Deliverance in here. I don't mind running one of these main because the artifacts that do pop up are very good. Mainly Edifice of Authority. You just crack it open with this, or cycle it for really cheap. Wow, good deal. We get Greater Sandworm. Is this one wheeling? 22 cards. No, this isn't wheeling yet. The other option is Oracle's Vault, but we have sort of the card advantage for now. And Oracle's Vault is very slow. Let's take a game-winning card. Gustwalker. That's really weird to see it this late. I guess we were seeing white pretty late in pack 1. And why not? We can take it. Maybe those dual lands will wheel. Alright, Manglehorn for the sideboard, or Haze of Pollen. If we're drawing lots of cards, I guess Haze gets better. And there we go, Gift of Paradise. Cancel's fine, but just all of the ramp here. Vizier of Remedies is annoying to play against. Probably will never see enough black to be in a -1/-1 counter deck, so we can just take the good old reliable Ancient Crab, put him in our sideboard. Here's another sideboard card, the Stinging Shot, and you can always run one main. Oh, I don't know. Alright, we'll just pass all the white still. Wow, speaking of passing all the white, there's a Gideon of the Trials. It turns out that in this set, splashing double off-color cards is not as hard as it would otherwise be. You've got cards like Painted Bluffs and Naga Vitalist, which work together to make 2 of that color. Gift of Paradise, all that kind of stuff. And then we can put together quite a strange little control deck here. So sure, welcome aboard, Gideon. Get in there. Then we have the classic Magic the Gathering lag here. Alright, now what? Time to reflect. Prepare to fight. Cartouche of Ambition. A lot of random stuff that isn't really on color. Doesn't really help our game plan. But now that we have some white, we can take this powerful Prepare to Fight. Ooh, Trial of Strength. That's more like the card we want. Do we have any cartouches yet? We don't. The card isn't even that good on its own. So maybe we take another Greater Sandworm and hope to wheel this trial. And by maybe, I mean let's do it. Or not the trial, wheel anything. We could wheel the second Weaver of Currents. That's also a good option. Angler Drake is perfect here. Ramp up to it. Unlikely, but we could wheel this Naga Vitalist. And this is our first cartouche. Would have been sweet to have a trial, but we already have Gideon of the Trials, so that kind of counts. And this just sends a giant 7/7 into the air. Maybe they have a few 3-power blockers, and you just don't even want to deal with that, so. Alright. Another Cartouche of Knowledge, a Trial of Knowledge, or a Gift of Paradise. The gift might wheel. Cartouche is sweet. Let's take that. Wow, Oracle's Vault. This is turning out to be quite the deck. Now, Quarry Hauler doesn't have many things that it can do. start cutting this random stuff. Oracle's Vault's pretty good in this deck, though. Sure. Get a second shot at it. And then play 17 lands, including these 3. So we can splash like one of any color. So we've got Decimator Beetle, Final Reward, Deemworthy, Gideon. Play 1 plains. And it should work out. Benefaction might be an option in this deck. Given that we have a bunch of cartouches, we can make a quick enchantment count here. We've got Bounty. Ooh, cool mountain here. We've got Gift. Now, we didn't get any of this high-end enchantment stuff. So it's just these 4. Well, that might be enough. Not enough for Benefaction. The other cuts we can make are these random cyclers like Dissenter's Deliverance, and we can add those in if we actually need them. Don't need Slitherblade. And it's late enough, we'll just take the best card or the shiniest, whichever appeals to us. And the Weaver does come back, sure. That makes for some early Sandworms. It's good mana for casting stuff off of Oracle's Vault. Naga Vitalist comes back. With all of this ramp, we could even justify going to 24 cards and 16 lands. Maybe we don't have to do that, though. Some more card draw would be fine. We missed out on a trial. The blue trial. We missed out on all the trials. That's okay, though. Alright, so this looks like the deck here. This is our 5-color Good Stuff deck. Normally these decks are based blue-green. We missed out on 1 gift, but we do have 2 Vitalists, 2 Weavers, plenty of mana fixing. Oracle's Vault is its own form of mana fixing. And with 2 Evolving Wilds and a Painted Bluffs, then this should really be fine. Plus Spring, so we can just play 1 of each basic land type. Put in this sweet mountain. And let's see what we have. We definitely want to prefer our green sources. So we can take out something like 2 blue and a green to put in our 2 Evolving Wilds and a Painted Bluffs. And take a look at what that does. So we combine groups here. That puts us at about 10 green sources. It puts us at 7 or more blue sources, considering that our green finds blue. So that should be plenty. We can land our turn 1 Oshra Cultivator, and then we have these 3 green sources of any color, and then 1 of each of everything else. That fixes for Deemworthy, it fixes for Gideon, or 1 plains for Gideon, even though we really have Painted Bluffs too, and all kinds of stuff to help cast it. And then what? A couple black cards. Is it really worth it to run the 1 mountain for Deemworthy? We'll find out. And Sheffet Monitor also fixes here. We will find out. But the power level is there, and the fixing is there. So if you want to know how to build a Return to Ravnica style or Khans of Tarkir sealed style deck, this is it. And we're doing it in Amonkhet. So if you're familiar with the multicolored blocks, you'll be more comfortable with this random stuff that we're trying to do here. Anyway, let's enhance a little bit here, take a screenshot, and dive into some matches.